Intrepid has a unique history. On one side, there's a level of financial independence that is not predicated, that has not historically been predicated on our engagement within the investing ecosphere of gaming. Here we go.
Are we completely out of money? Are we broke, Dad?
No, we're not broke.
We're not broke, chat. You heard it here first. We're still going.
The Steam launch will be terrible. It's all coming to an end. Coming to an end. Coming to an end. Coming to an end.
I think that the traditional way of making MMOs seems to not work anymore. I don't know if traditional MMOs are ever going to be a thing again. Maybe there's like a middle ground that people can explore to kind of bring that back. But it's really hard, especially after all these failures. It's hard to see that coming back. And unless there's a big one in stealth somewhere, like I don't think we're going to be seeing any new ones anytime soon. 10 years ago, I felt the exact same way I do today, which is I'd love a new MMO. And it's been 10 years and I feel the exact same way. But basically a lot of people like me were like, okay, let's see what you got. I think I was a 250, 500 backer. And I think what happened at that point is a lot of us kind of just kept getting the updates in the mail, kind of followed along with it. And for the last 9 years, it's just been making very slow progress. And on top of that, there's been multiple times when the progress has not really been in the great directions. And I'm actually, I read the subreddit all the time. So, I kind of keep the pulse of what changes are working, what aren't. There's been huge schisms in like the PvP player base versus the kind of casual. And it's gotten a little bit, especially in the later years, a little more salty in there. Cut to more recently. They announced that they're releasing an early access on Steam. And that for the majority of AOC people was one of the bigger red flags that they could do, because they had made it very clear in the past that they were not going to be doing anything like that. The idea of charging for the unfinished product was not good. They had a set amount of goals they wanted to meet before deployment like that. And then it comes out, and that was not long ago at all. So the game comes out on Steam, really negative reviews for good reasons, but apparently it's selling and it's chugging along. So then everything is kind of moving along, and then last night we are told like some real big bombshells. Greg Griffin said Ashes of Creation is falling apart. Oh, no, that's not true. It's already completely fallen apart. It's gone. It's dead. Yep. Unfortunately, it is gone. AOC is DOA. Yep. Bad leadership is what it looks like. It looks like what happened is that the leadership was not only not transparent with the team and consumers, but also was doing things behind the scenes where it sounds like in their mind they thought it was fine, but in reality it really wasn't. And what I mean by that is, like, apparently at one point they decided that to keep the project going, they should cede control of it and didn't tell anyone, apparently. And then it turns out the people they ceded control to, they had ethical differences with, which was, that's another, and then essentially he quit and cut and ran. So, well, I say cut and ran. We don't know if he's run yet, but he certainly has cut. So we know the cutting is there, but we don't know about the running yet. That's a shame. I was looking forward to AOC. Dude, I was a Kickstarter backer of AOC. I think there was a time when that MMO really could have been the next big thing. But I think, and this is all just me guessing, but from the looks of it, at some point during development, they learned that they were not going to be able to finish the game. And then when that was kind of fundamentally learned, they started making some really shady decisions. And what I mean by that is man, it is starting to look really, really bad about this play to Steam. Like the fact that the project crashed as quickly as it did means that there was probably a lot more stuff going on behind the scenes for a longer period of time. And the fact that the game released on Steam, sold a bunch of copies, and then the day before they had to pay the rest of their team on the 30th, and that's also the day they got their Steam payment, they cut the team the next day. So the optics of this are disgusting. The optics of this are like just, it is horrible. It is horrible. Yeah, it's a bad look. I mean, we don't know all the details yet, but it's a bad look, horrible look. I think probably the biggest issue here, and this is where things really get complicated, because here's, as many will tell you, I love game dev and I do my best to fight for the side of the game dev. You know, if I think there's any reason that there's like some good reason to really, you know, some good truth in there about something, I'll try to find it and I'll try to fight for it. When this project started, I think that it was a project that they really wanted to succeed and that they wanted to make work. But I cannot in good conscience say after the Steam thing and then this message, dude, at some point, this became a scam. At some point, a decision was made and the project flipped from being like, we're gonna try to get this MMO out to we need to get as many finances recouped as possible. And the part here that is so unfortunate is it's like, was that before the decision was to go to Steam? Was the whole plan to launch on Steam so they then would not have to pay back Kickstarter backers and could get a last ditch amount of money? All of this starts to get real dark. And it's the kind of thing where it's like, are we making sure Steven is like staying in the country? I confirmed this with my chat today and I don't know if this has changed. And if someone in chat, please tell me if this is different. From what I understand, at no point until yesterday had Steven ever been public about the company going away from under his umbrella in any capacity. So if I'm understanding this right, his message last night was the first time anyone heard that he no longer controlled the company. He actually put up, the guy's name is Steven Sharif. He actually did put up a reply, I think on the Discord. And when somebody was asking for more information, he basically said, you will get more information in the court filings. So I guess that means either he is going after the board or the board is going after him, one or the other. So I guess we'll see what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, we need all the before we start like really assigning blame, we need all the details and we don't have all the details. That needs to be said first. So I again, it just bad on not good on worse. It just keeps getting worse. So we'll see. I mean, there's a world where Steven goes public and says, no, the game didn't actually come out. We're still refunding all the Kickstarters, et cetera, et cetera. There's a world where, you know, maybe we just don't have the info and maybe he really did get screwed by people that, you know, maybe, but we'll see. You know, this is the part of the discussion where we say we need the details and we don't have the details. And that's important to mention. So, but I'm sure we'll find out soon. I mean, considering they're going to be telling us through court filings what's going on, I'm assuming that means it's going to be public and probably pretty nasty. But what's also really strange is, who is the board? Like, we have the name of like a literal person that was convicted of fraud that he gave the company to. And it's just like, is that the board? Did he, like, what is happening? It's so strange. I don't know. It's such a weird situation. And that makes it even weirder because if it turns out the board is just him and his, I don't know, his business partner, friend, I'm not sure who it is, but it was like him and one other person. If it does turn out that the board is just him and this other person who worked for the company, then is he really trying to legitimately say that the other person is who forced the company to shut down when he was part of the company? That makes no sense either. So that, like, all of the options we have right now don't really make sense if you think about it. So I don't know. But yeah, TLDR, and the last thing I'm going to say on it, it is one of the messiest project conclusions we've seen in a long time. I mean, you could not write a movie script based on how weird this has gotten. Like, and there's a good chance it's going to get weirder.